For the uninitiated, fighting in the sport of hockey appears pointless. Two goons pounding each other till the referee steps in. But as we'll show you over the next 3 nights, there's much more to it than a street fight on ice. And in this corner, the sweet science in the CHL. Primitive, barbaric, savage. All have been used to describe the practice of fighting in professional hockey.
It's actually one extreme to another, really. It's either the people love it and come to the games almost just for the fights, or there are the people that, you know, really try to shy away, cover their eyes.
When a fight breaks out on the ice, more often than not, says Rapid City Rush head coach Joe Ferris, it's about players maintaining law and order on the ice when the referees don't.
It's more like on-ice police officers where, you know, guys, we don't want guys taking liberties with our skilled guys, and I don't think you can look back at the 3 years we've been in Rapid City where any fights have happened where it's not a situation where, you know, it's guys policing each other. No one's taking liberties with guys, no one's out trying to hurt each other. And
as the sport has evolved, so has the fighting, a code to which all players are held accountable for their actions. According to hockeyfights.com, Rapid City Rush winger Colt King has engaged in over 50 fights in his 7-year professional career. Among the rules of the code, King says, keep it within what amounts to your weight class.
I mean, there is a bit of an unwritten rule. You try to stay within who you think might be in your caliber, your range, your size. There's guys that know that you need to do it. There's guys on the other team that need to do it. I'm going to ask the guy purely to help my team. Not because I have any grudge or any beef with this guy. It's just because I'm trying to do whatever it's going to take to help my team. Generally, that's how it ends. You know, guys say good job to, you know, if, you know, it's a fair, clean fight, you'll say good job. Fairly gentlemanly, but fairly brutal at the same time.
yeah, there's absolutely a code, and these guys know it, and these guys adhere to it. Very rarely do you see a Colt King or a Kevin Harvey running a 40-goal scorer trying to drop the gloves with a guy that's not a guy that's ever fought.
And while there are exceptions to most rules, there's one rule in professional hockey that has no exception.
These guys know that those 19 guys in the dressing room are like brothers, and you got to protect each other.
Fighting has been a part of hockey since the game's infancy in the 19th century. And like the sport, the practice of fighting in hockey has evolved as well. And in this corner, we see what it takes to survive on the ice. Most people can barely stay on their feet in a pair of skates, let alone flying up and down the ice handling a puck with a piece of wood. But imagine going blade to blade and blow for blow with a guy whose goal is to put you on your back counting lights. We tracked down a pair of guys who know what it takes to be the last man standing.
Colt King, left winger, 6'2", 225.
Scott Kalinchuk, defenseman for the Rapid City Rush, 6'1", 200 pounds.
For different players, the goal in a fight is different. For guys like Colt King, it's about domination of his opponent.
You got to get a hold at somewhere on the jersey. You got to hold somewhere where you feel most comfortable. I mean, guys take different approaches. They'll grab sleeves, just so when Scott tries to throw, I got a little bit more to defense to try to hold his hand back. Me personally, I like to grab up by the collar, and then this way, if he tries to throw his right hand, I could put my, left arm up and do a bit of a blocking. Holding him up top here, I can kind of move him around a bit more too to kind of keep him off balance.
For others, the quicker it gets to the ice, the better.
I'm Conrad Reeder size, and I'm fighting Kalinchuk. Like, I'm going to be half his size, so I mean, it's going to be to my advantage to just get him off his feet, because I'm not going to want to stand and exchange with him. So I mean, for me, maybe just throw a quick couple and then get him down and end it as quick as possible.
Unlike many of the other skills in the game, fighting on skates is one that's difficult to practice. Different players take different approaches.
A lot of guys have different things that they do, and a lot of guys work on it in the summertime, take boxing lessons or hit the bag and do stuff like that. For me, I mean, I just tried to learn as I went. Like with anything, you start to calm down a bit. Okay, I'm getting in a fight here. Think about what you got to do.
It's almost like animals growing up in the wild, where they spend their whole life play fighting, wrestling, and obviously it works out in the long run. Whereas in, there might be a time in practice where a couple guys will goof around and drop the gloves. No, never throwing any punches, of course, just kind of goofing around, but grabbing onto each other and clutching with each other. And I feel like that does a lot more than actually simulating a real fight. I mean, to spend time back boxing and doing all that, I feel is maybe even a waste of time, because anybody can get anybody at any given time.
Despite appearances to the contrary, fighting in the sport of hockey is no less a tool than a player's pads and stick. In the final part of our series and in this corner, we show you the situations in which a pair of players may drop the gloves. Hockey is a sport that feeds off emotion, but that emotion must be measured. More often than not, when you see two bruisers going at it on the ice, for players like Colt King, it was a carefully calculated risk.
It could change the momentum throughout the course of a game. It could either help you, it could hurt you, it could, there's a lot of pros and cons that comes with fighting. You could take an extra penalty and potentially hurt your team even more. So, you got to be smart about it.
Strategy is normally a coach's specialty, but when it comes to players fighting, for coaches like Rapid City Rush head coach Joe Ferris, it's hands-off.
No. Guys know what their jobs are. We got guys that are tough and they're going near a goaltender or they're taking liberties. Guys know when they got to step up. It's not something that's ever even talked about, to be honest with you.
Apart from the players policing themselves, another reason two players may come to blows is to light a fire for their teammates.
If the team's outplaying you, you're down 3 goals. If you think maybe you need a little spark, something to help your team kind of get motivated, then going out there and fighting somebody and hopefully you do a good job and you win, that might help motivate the guys.
On the rare occasion the gloves come off even before the first puck is dropped, King says a stinging loss is usually to blame.
If a team, we didn't have a good showing against another team, where if a team blew us out, 7-0 or something, and then, we play them a couple months later, you obviously have it in the back of your mind, like, look, that's not gonna be happening again. It's showing that, I'm gonna step up. We're not gonna let you guys walk all over us. Things are gonna be different. You better be ready.
In the end, fight or no fight, only one thing truly matters.
My first and foremost thought is obviously doing whatever it takes to help my team win.